Iowa guy, I wanted to be a part of that.
This is the Hometown Hoops Podcast with Drake Men's Basketball and your host, Michael Admire.
All right, it is the Hometown Hoops Podcast on the Drake Sports Media Podcast Network. I'm your host, Michael Admire, and we are powered up today by Learfield. We'll get to our guest here in just a second, but first want to remind everybody, every episode of the Hometown Hoops Podcast is streamed and archived on the Drake Men's Basketball YouTube page, or excuse me, Facebook page, and then on the Drake Athletics YouTube page. You can check it out there, but you can also listen wherever you get your podcast, including the free Varsity Network app from Learfield, and all those, the Varsity Network app from Learfield, all of our games are on there as well. So make sure you get that app downloaded. If you're new to this thing, get that app downloaded so you can listen to all the podcasts and all the games, home and away. Also, we are streaming live on Instagram. This is a new revelation for me through StreamYard. So we streamed the conversation with Jalen Quinn last week, got some good interaction. So we're going to keep that thing rolling. But without any further ado, let's get to today's guest, all the way from Spirit Lake, Iowa. It is Billy Brown. Billy, what has summer been like? Have you just been feet up, kicking back by Okoboji all summer?
God, I wish. Sometimes it was kind of hectic to start, with the transition over, but everything's been good. People up here have been awesome, helping us move over, getting us situated, but I haven't been able to get up to Okoboji too much this year. But
what's too much? Is it
a couple weekends here and there?
Good.
Yeah,
good.
A couple weekends, but nothing crazy.
People that go to Okoboji, I've never been.
Mm-hmm.
But people that go to Okoboji, man, they absolutely live and die by Okoboji.
Yep. And I grew up my whole life there, so it might have worn off a little bit, the excitement of going back, but it's nothing like seeing your family back there. So try to get to see them. Now I guess I'm closer to a lot more family here, so that helps. But yeah, I didn't get back there too much this year. So
well, I'm glad you've had a good summer and a productive one. We got a roster.
Yep.
Guys are getting back here shortly. Start trickling in middle of next week, and then we'll be into classes and some weight training, and then it's into practices. And before November will be here. No doubt.
I mean, this time's always an exciting time of the year. All the students coming back to campus, seeing energy back on campus, and getting to see the guys again after a month off. It is a fun time of the year, and getting to see them, get to work with them again, and just get to interact. You get to interact with them quite a bit. They're really fun to be around. So I'm looking forward to getting them back here. It makes my life a little bit more exciting right now.
Are you nervous about anybody when they come back after a month off, or has there anybody got your eye on?
Not too
Will's
worried.
Hanging out in Canada.
Yeah, you got to watch out for that Andrew Aaliyah kid every once in a while. Yeah. He makes sure he touches a basketball. No, I'm just kidding. But they're all. I mean, it's part of the reason why they're here. They're all self-motivated. They're all dedicated to their craft. They handle their business on and off the floor. We try to do a good job of reaching out to them, staying in constant communication with these guys. So in a way, it feels like we haven't left them, but they do a really good job of handling their business, doing what they need to do to get better, even when they're not on campus here. So
as an assistant coach, what are you trying to get done here in this time?
A lot of it has been just cleaning up loose ends since the move over. I've had a lot of stuff around the house needed to finish up, but again, then just
unpack those boxes,
finally unpack them. Yeah. But then again, just cleaning up some stuff for the fall, getting ready for fall workouts, getting all the classes, everything situated for our guys, making sure they're cleared, ready to go. And that's mainly the basics of it. And then there's a few minor things here and there that cover up, but yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. One of the other things, you guys working on the schedule. I know that isn't something you work on primarily, but I think everything's kind of a team effort with the staff, and we're probably just a couple days away from being able to announce the non-conference schedule, which is really exciting for fans. And I think there's some good home games, some good away games. We've seen some of the neutral site games with, the game up at the Sanford Pentagon. That's cool. You've played there. Yeah,
I played there. And then we've been a part of a lot of games there. For people who don't know, especially Drake fans, like it is an awesome place to go watch a basketball game. If you haven't been there, it's an event to go there. And of course you get to see other games there. Obviously our game more important to everybody who'll be listening here, but it is an event. If you have the chance to make it up there and support this team, do it by all means. It's an awesome place.
Well, and it's an opener for the Hendo era. So I think that will draw a lot of people up there.
No doubt. And then you can see, Murray State will play before us. It's a conference opponent. And then you just get to see good basketball there throughout the day. And then obviously our game with Hendo's opening game, get to see a good game there, see the kickoff of the whole new team, try to make it there if you can. It'd be an awesome day.
Sweet. Well, Billy, it's great to have you on here because, there have been like 6 degrees of Billy Brown and Drake for so many years. And now you're finally in the Drake gear. Your little sister is Anna Brown.
Yep.
And she played here for a season on Allison Pullman's staff when they made the NCAA tournament. And then your brother-in-law is Brent Heemskirk, who played on that legendary 2008 team. So you had some really tight connections to Drake. How is it, being here and, kind of already having that foundation laid? Like when you found out that Hendo was taking the job or was kind of in the conversation for it, how excited did you get about it?
I was pretty fired up. I'd spent some summers here when my family lived in Waukee. My little sister, she attended Waukee. I give a shout out to Brent. He is like a top 1% listener to this podcast. He makes comments about everyone. But I was super fired up. I came to a few games a couple years ago of Anna's when she played here. So I've been able to get around this place a little bit. And she obviously had a great time. She enjoyed her experience. They made the tournament that year and she loved every minute that she was here. And then Brent, over the years, he's just told me about Drake over the years and just how much he's loved it. And so a couple years ago when we were both in Omaha for the NCAA tournament, I tried to get him to wear Jackrabbit blue and he would not wear Jackrabbit blue. He's wearing the Drake Bulldog. So he's Bulldog through and through, no matter who's on the other side. So he just told me how special it is and how awesome a place it is. And it's lived up to the bill ever since all of us have gotten here. So
as an aside, like the best part of the NCAA tournament run last year and really even over the last few years being in the Missouri Valley Conference tournament is seeing guys like Brent and Josh Young. And the list goes on and on. I can't even sit here, Dolph Polium, naming everybody off, just the pride of that group to be able to come back and be proud of a program and of a team, and having those guys around, it just lifts the spirits of everybody in our department. Like that's what this is about. You got the student athletes and want to win games, but it's re-engaging in those with our alumni, man. It's been fun to have him back.
No doubt. And then just
that he went anywhere.
Yeah, no doubt. But just seeing there's such a strong group of alumni and players that played here before that support the team and they come back, and whether they're driving down to Wichita in the middle of the night to go watch the first round game against Missouri or whatever it is. They'll do anything for this team. And that's what excites us too, is there's so much pride and passion for the Bulldogs. And it is really cool to see.
You grew up in Spirit Lake, grew up in the state, so you've been aware of Drake for a long time as well. What was it like growing up in Northwest Iowa, playing basketball up there? Take us into Billy Brown as a high school athlete.
I was an okay player. I played at Spirit Lake, and then I eventually went on to play at North Dakota. But, growing up, I'll just say a little bit about Des Moines. Like, you grow up, you wanted to play down at Des Moines. Des Moines was kind of the center for high school basketball. You wanted to play at was formerly the Wells Fargo Arena, now the Casey Center. And you just kind of grew up dreaming of playing there, playing with your high school buddies, playing there one day. But yeah, I played a couple of years of high school basketball, went on to play at North Dakota. Then I ended up loving it so much I stuck around coaching, which is a crazy decision. But then I was lucky enough to join Coach Hendo, obviously, after all this, and it's just a wonderful group. And I was just super fortunate to be around a group like these guys.
You played in 116 career games at North Dakota, shot like 45% from beyond the arc. Was that your final year?
Senior year? Junior year.
Junior year. Okay.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, you did all right for yourself up there. What was it like playing at North Dakota? I've been up there before with the football team. We played there a couple of years ago, and it was a game that Chuck Reed could not call, so I got a chance to go up there. So only game I've been able to call play-by-play on the radio. Mm-hmm. And that was it's Bismarck, right?
Grand Forks.
Yep. Geez. Okay. Grand Forks.
Yep.
And it's a really nice town.
It is.
It's super clean. It's super flat, but it's a really nice town. I enjoyed it up there. What was your experience like?
I loved it. Obviously you're going to hear a lot. It's really cold there.
Yeah.
But
you're basically in Canada.
You're basically in Canada. You're an hour and a half from Winnipeg.
Yeah, that's
but there's great people there. I was very lucky enough to play there. I met great people. I played with a lot of great players, played with a lot of great people. I was fortunate enough to be coached by really good coaches. And, I had a great time there. I enjoyed my experience and I wouldn't trade it for the world. It was a great experience there.
And you stay in the Summit League, moving over to South Dakota State, kind of going to one of the rivals in the league. But what was it that drew you to Hendo and that staff and that opportunity?
I joke around with them a lot. They whooped up on us a few times, and
they had some pretty good teams.
They did. They whooped up on us a lot, and I just remember looking over a few times. There was something about them. They had a lot of fun. They had a lot of fun doing it. And I remember when I wanted to get into coaching post playing career, I reached out to a few of my mentors, and Coach Klink and Coach Hendo, I had a previous relationship with them. Being from Iowa, you have a connection to everybody. But then when they reached out, and I was like, it's a no-brainer. You have the chance to win at a high level, be around good people, and be around, a special group of just individuals, and have the chance to grow myself along the way. So that's kind of what drove me to there, and then stuck around there for 5 years. So, but the people is what made it. Hendo, Coach Klink, Coach Peterson, Coach Barnes was there at the time. And those are the people that drew me there, having the chance to learn from them every day, be around them every day. And then, all four of those guys, and even along Coach Glidden, they look out for you. I was a young 22, 23-year-old kid. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. And, along the way, they just helped me, help me grow, help me learn, help me become a better person every day. And I appreciate everything they've done for me, and I'll be forever grateful for them. But yeah.
And you're still a young dude being an assistant coach. Mm-hmm. How you were supposed to be a banker. You're supposed to go into the family business.
Yep.
How did coaching become the thing for you? And then how have you developed over the last few years to get into the position you are now as a mid-major D1 assistant coach?
Yeah. When I was finishing up my playing career, I just kind of thought, what did I want to do when I was done? I loved basketball, and I loved being around it. I loved being around the team atmosphere, and I didn't want to finish that way. I knew I probably wasn't good enough to go play after, so I thought, what are different ways I can be involved in the game? And this is one that stood out to me. And so lucky enough, I was able to join these guys, but like you said, like being young, and they helped me mature in ways that, I kind of I tried to rise to their level, follow in their footsteps, and help learn from them. I just try to follow them in every step of the way, and continue to grow, continue to learn. So
you've made your way here to Drake, and now you're working, primarily with the guards,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you got this team around you guys kind of restarting a little bit. What has this experience, here, late spring, summer, getting ready for this year, been like, and how much are you looking forward to getting going in November?
I'm fired up for November. I think obviously we got to take it day by day, continue to get better every day, but that's the fun process of it. Obviously games are really fun, but working every day together, getting to spend time with the 5 guards in the summer and getting to shoot with them individually, continue to work. I think that's the fun part, building the relationships, shooting late hours after everybody's gone, getting in there, getting in the gym, and building the relationships with them, because I think that's the most important part, especially as a young coach, building relationships with these guys, helping them grow. And then also these guys also help me learn as well too, learn how to be a better coach, learn how to be a better person, learn how to interact better with younger players too. So I think, like I said, this is the fun time of the year, like getting them back on campus, getting all the excitement, and then getting to work with them day after day. It's a fun time.
It's been really cool watching this team, how they've connected. We've talked on this podcast with basically everybody that's been on this microphone has talked about how connected this team already is.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's one aspect. Summer, you guys are playing a lot of 5-on-5, getting up and down the floor, kind of getting those guys used to playing with each other, but then also just seeing how they all, play together. As you shift into this kind of in-season mode, what do you feel like will be some of the things you guys really want to work on here in the next couple months that will get the guys ready to go for November 3rd?
I think it's continuing to build on the little details. I think when you get there, you kind of go piece by piece, and then just continue to build time after time, and then continue to perfect everything. And maybe not perfect's the best word, but just continuing to get better at all the little details day after day. These guys come from different systems. One guy might do something completely different than what we've been used to. So they might have to change what they've done before to adapt, and, continuing to work on it, continuing to do extra film to show them the habits and building the habits over time. But I know you brought up a little piece of this is a very connected group. These guys are very hardworking and very selfless people. I think that's kind of one of Hendo's things when we're recruiting, like looking for people that fit that mold, so when they come together, when 13 new guys who've never met each other come together, it kind of fits as one pretty quickly. And I think that's one thing that we've been really excited to see is these dudes spend hours outside of basketball hanging out with each other and looking out for each other. And these guys have only known each other for 3-4 months, maybe at the most. And I think that's the exciting thing, is seeing a group come together like that in a short period of time.
With that, you at least have a fighting chance.
Yep.
If the guys are willing to, play for each other, they're hard workers, you got a chance. X's and O's wise, skill set wise, what gives you even more confidence that this team can compete for a Missouri Valley Conference championship this year?
I think you see the size when we walk into the gym, and obviously we got all ranges of size from 6 foot to all the way to 7 foot. I think that's one thing, is we have a bunch of versatile players though. Like we got guys who can play multiple positions, guard multiple positions, and they're not just good athletes. They're smart. They can dribble, pass, and shoot. They can do all the little things that we kind of looked for. And I think that it's an exciting group to be. And obviously you brought up the chemistry, because that gives us a fighting chance, but they're good basketball players, and they're not just hoopers. They know how to play, and learning how to play with each other is kind of the thing that we continue to build over time.
We had Jaysean Thomas in here pretty early in the summer, and he's just seems like a man on a mission. Has had went JUCO for a couple of years, got one season in the Carolinas, and then this is his senior year. And it just feels like Yeah, he's locked in. What have you seen from him this summer, and what gets you, excited about what's potentially in there for him this year?
One thing about Jay Sean, I think he has a purpose every time he goes into the gym. He doesn't just go in there just to be in there. He goes in and he does his work, if it's an individual workout, he's in there and he goes through all 45 minutes. And one thing I do enjoy being around him is everything that you ask of him, he will do for you. If you need him to talk more, he's one of the more vocal guys on the court. If you need him to dive on a loose ball during a team workout, he's going to be one of the first guys to do that. I think he's a selfless human being. I think he's one that cares much about his faith, and he lives that every day. He truly is what he is what he preaches. And I think that's one thing about him is he's always going to be a hard worker. He's going to be one of good character, and he's just a good dude to be around too. He's a fun guy to be around as well.
Yeah, Jay Sean and Jalen Quinn are the two that I talk most about to other people when they're asking about this team. I mean, every single guy that is on this roster is fantastic, but you got to have the guards who can score and defend in the Missouri Valley Conference. And I think you've got that in those two guys.
Yeah.
Jalen Quinn, comes over from Loyola, plays his final year, makes a tough decision to leave his home state and leave a staff that he was really comfortable with for, the opportunities on this team. How has he attacked these opportunities here?
Jalen's been awesome these first few months, and Jalen's one of the harder workers I've been around, whether it's, every night before team workout or individual workout, he's texting me, hey, can we get extra shots in the morning? And it's every morning, and he's coming back late at night to get shots up. And I think that's what's fun about this group is 1 through 13 or 1 through 12. They're all individually driven. You don't have to get on them about getting extra shots, getting in the gym, and they're on each other. They help motivate each other to get in the gym. They're shooting with other people. Older guys are shooting with young guys with old guys. And I think that's what helps make a special team too, is everybody helping each other get there. Not just one piece tries to get there by himself. It's everybody together getting there. And that's what those two, Jalen, Jay Sean, and there's a bunch of others too. They're driven and they're motivated, and they've had their experiences in the past, and they want to continue to build off those two, and they're motivated by what they believe they can be. And I'm excited I get to be a part or help them get to that.
Owen and Andrew, both those guys have been putting in the work in the offseason to return from injury. Andrew obviously a little bit farther along than Owen. Those two guys bring such a dynamic leadership aspect too. And, depends on when Owen gets back. He's a guy that is going to crack into the starting lineup. The guard position, it's going to make it tough on you guys to figure out which 2 or 3 you could go crazy. You put on the floor.
Yeah. That's a good problem to have though. Yeah. Having good players around the whole lineup, and
Bryson too, who's a really talented freshman.
Yep, Braden. You got Eli. You got a lot of really good players. One thing about Owen, we were lucky enough to coach him at South Dakota State, and he was awesome enough to join us here at Drake, and we're fired up to have him. I know a lot of people haven't gotten to see him a ton just because he's been out this summer, but he is as tough as nails. He's vocal. He's very, he told you guys he's not afraid to chirp a little bit. That's to be known. But he's a smart player. He's just like those other guys. He's a really good dude, and he'll do anything for anybody else on those teams, on his last team and even this team. He's a selfless player, and same goes along with Drew too. Like Drew, he's one of the tougher kids I've had the chance to be around. Every loose ball, it seems like it's going Drew's way. Every rebound, every 50-50 ball is going Drew's way. And, he's as tough as can be, and he's not afraid to back down though. If someone's chirping at him, he's not backing down either. That's one thing that caught my eye. There was a few games or a few practices where it got a little chirpy, and he was on the end of one of them, but he's as tough as can be though. And he's just a competitor through and through. So
heck yeah. Yep. these conversations aren't going to tamper any excitement or expectations for the season for our fan base or for me. But that's what this is all about. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Floor just got redone. Have you got a chance to peek out there and check it out?
It looks awesome.
Yeah.
The lighter floor,
Yeah.
it looks cool. I see the paint that's filled this year.
Yeah.
Right. Am I right?
Yeah. So not like massive changes to what it was last year, but just really well done. The floor used to be kind of a more yellow tint to it, had a warmer tint. Now it's got a cooler tint because of the oil based to water based stain that goes on it. I don't get into the details, but and then the lanes are painted blue this year, and a little Des Moines Hometown Team. Some of the logos are a little bigger.
I do love the Des Moines Hometown Team is a special thing though, because Des Moines is a special place. You know, it's the capital of our state.
Oh yeah.
Growing up here, I always pictured it as the mecca of basketball in Iowa, just because of the state tournament. And obviously growing up, Drake was the 08 team. I'm not trying to toot Brent's horn anymore, but the 08 team was a special team. So it is cool to have this branding of this team and for this university.
Well, shoot, man, you're all a part of it. And yeah, Drake Hoops Fest coming up early October. We'll get that rolling to get a chance to really meet some people. And, last year, everybody that went to Hoops Fest, immediately got to meet that team, a bunch of unknown guys, and then they go on this crazy run. Similar thing could happen this year. So guys, Drake fans and people in Des Moines want to get on board early here. All right, Billy, I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Shout out again to Brent.
We don't need to keep
this one's for him
anymore.
This one's for you, man.
He needs to be done being mentioned.
Thanks, man.